Hi, everyone. I'm back with Writer's Life, First Penned Words to Publication and Beyond. I am currently right at the publication point for my new book. We're not quite ready to talk about all that comes after publication, all the marketing. I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of thinking about it, and I will bring some of that to you soon. I've had a lot of experiences with different types of marketing, and we all have to make our own choices there, and I'm making some of my own choices now for those. What I want to share with you today is my new baby is here. In the Dark, a mother's reflections on her son's addiction and recovery. This is a book that my oldest son started asking me to write about 10 years ago. He was an addict of meth, alcohol, and cigarettes for 20 years, starting around age 10 to 12. I start the book at age 12. He's told me that it actually starts about age 10. With his help and remembering some of the experiences I went through, I finally wrote this book. I think I've mentioned it before. It's been a long haul. It's not a big book, as you can see. It's 117 pages. That's including the front pages and back pages. So it's not a large book, but it has a lot in it. It is my story of how I dealt with my son being an addict. In the beginning, he said, "Mom, the story is not about me. It's about you. Write it from your perspective." And that's what I did with some trouble. I mean, it took me a while to sort my thoughts out and memories out and get it in writing. I penned the words. Like I said, it took me a long time, more months than it should have. A book this size, I could have written in a month or two, but it took me months, most of this year. And I have it formatted, edited, formatted, and the cover design done, and it was published on August 9th. Again, here is the book. Here is the back. Tells you a little bit about the book. This was titled In the Dark because not only was my son living in the dark as an addict, walking a very dark path, I was living in the dark because I knew nothing, zero, about drugs, drug addiction, signs of drug addiction. I had no experience whatsoever in my life. From childhood forward, I never saw it in my home. I was never approached and offered drugs. I've never, to this day, tried one drug. It's very foreign to me and very perplexing to me personally that it's the huge problem that it is in our society. That's why this book is my story in dealing with the addiction my son had. We both were living in the dark. I'd like to offer this book especially to mothers who are dealing with sons or daughters who are caught in the drug world. I said this book is for Jason, my son, but dedicated to mothers, all mothers, especially mothers, let me find the page, dealing with this problem. For Jason, dedicated to mothers. It's hard to see, I know. I have bad lighting today. Weather outside is very dim, and my overhead light was casting a very bad beam on my face. So we'll do it like this. I want to offer this book to anyone interested in reading about the hope there is in your son or daughter recovering from addiction. That's why I titled it My Son's Addiction and Recovery. Now, I know that a parent, especially a mother who reads that, whose child did not recover, can likely be offended by this subtitle and likely be turned off from reading the book because they lost their child. But not everyone has lost their child yet, and there is hope. That is a recurring theme in this book, that there is hope. And my son is an example that there is hope, and he made it out after 20 years. There were many, many, many times, months, weeks, days, we thought we would lose him. He is living today almost 12 years clean and sober. He is productive. He is working. He is a engaged family member. He has friends. He has other activities he does instead of drug use. And this book is about that as well as the addiction. The addiction was dark. The experiences were dark. They were full of anguish. There's a chapter titled Anguish in here. It was my most terrible time in my life. The most heartache I've ever felt came from what I wrote in that chapter, Anguish. But there is hope. And my son is an example of it is possible to get out of the drug scene and to become clean and sober and stay that way. There are two frames of thought about recovery, and I write about this at the end of the book. Some feel recovery is an ongoing process, that it is never done, that you are recovering your whole life. And you are staying clean and sober, but you're always recovering because you could fall back into it. There are others who think of it as recovered. You are recovered, and you're you may have some temptations come up, but you are not in a total state of recovering. You are recovered and you do not go back. I believe both can exist, and I've seen those who consider themselves always in recovery, always fighting the urge of alcohol or drugs, but always staying clean. And I know others who have stopped, and when they stopped, they stopped. And the temptation, the need, the want, the desire went away. It can happen both ways, and you can be recovered, in my opinion. Like I said, different people operate different ways, and you can look at it different ways. I would like to offer this book as my thoughts and memories and feelings about living with a son or any child you have who is in the drug life, and all that that means and all that it brings to your existence, not just theirs. So, if you or someone you know could possibly benefit from reading this book, any mother you know, any parent you know, especially mothers, because I was a mother, please share the word. If you want to check the book out first, it is a short read, and then you'll know if it speaks to you or if it might speak to somebody else in your life. So I offer this book to everyone who's struggling with a child in addiction and offering hope that they can recover and live a normal, clean, and sober life. So thank you for listening, and I'll be back again, maybe within a week, with some tips about promotion because I did start promoting this before it ever came out. I'm promoting it now every day as much as I can, and I'm promoting it further because we never stop promoting the books we've written. We need the world to know that they're there, and that can be done in a variety of ways. Thank you very much for listening, and I just want to share this and welcome this new book. It's like a new baby into the world, and it's written for you. Thank you very much.